Well, hello everybody. My name is Emiliano, and I am extremely proud to say that I have Victor Gabriel Gonzales with me, and it is an absolute honor to have you and to have this amazing chance at an interview with you. I know for people who don't actually know him, uh, about a couple weeks ago, he actually cleared $2 million within 2 days. That is an absolute insane number for 2 days. Some people take years to get to that, and some people never get to that. This man did it within 2 days, and not to mention that 4, 5, and six-figure days are a regular. So I wanted to interview him with the idea that you guys are inspired by somebody who is an example of a trader, and at the same time, for myself, who is a trader that is currently growing and just starting out with small again. We've had our losses, we had our ups and downs, but here he is, Victor. It's a pleasure to
Hi,
have you.
thanks for having me, and it's a pleasure to speak with a lot of community trader. Because in when we are traders, we our life is often lonely, and we try to I
Yeah,
don't know have a very lonely life because for some reason we don't want to share our losses or wins. So it's a very frustrating part because sometimes being a human being is to communicate with other people and understand what's you going on and what other people can bring you, so they can make you feel better, or maybe try. I speak out of with San Lucy, and I always like I'm trying to speak with him like with all my frequently losses and stuff like that. I always text him first, and it's always it's good when we have a community that we can share, and we can know that we're in the same path, and this is like any type of career. This is a very
yes, sir.
difficult career that people pursue, and probably sometimes being lonely is not the best thing, and that's why we create a community. As you are creating a community, I'm very proud of people that create communities, because there is a better way to involve new traders and teach them the weight of the market. That is not easy, and it probably will take you to many times, and etc etc. But it's a pleasure to be here with you, and of course with your community.
Again, thank you very much. It's an honor. Again, for anybody who is not already aware of Victor's social media, again, it's at Infusion Investments on Instagram, and Victor, and please correct me if I'm wrong if I say this, Ilses.
Yeah, correct. Actually, it was perfect though, because
Thank you.
she was born in Spain, and that's why she have like a very kind of unique
Yeah, that's a
name.
very unique name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, my last name is from Spain. It's Cotera. That's
Oh,
also, I
nice.
have Cotera
Yeah.
trades actually. So, anyways, I wanted to share a little bit about, I've done a little bit of research upon you. I've seen your podcast. I've seen from beginning to end in most of your videos in YouTube, from Victor and Ilse's YouTube channel all the way to
Mhm.
Infusion Investments YouTube channel. And I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of information on Victor. And please do correct me if I'm wrong at any point in time. Victor Gonzalez is a stock market trader whose journey began in Puerto Rico. As his account grew, so did his ambitious nature to help others achieve their goals through trading. This was achieved by Victor, the CEO of Infusion Investments, an organization dedicated to help those who innovate and wish to grow through the stock market. Victor has vlogged and shown all possible ups and downs that we all experience as traders in both his podcasts, Master Your Money Habits, so you can actually find this in Spotify, and his YouTube channel, Infusion Investments. So you guys can go ahead and take a look at that if you want some educational sources. He is also a loving husband of his wife, Ilses, and young CEO, entrepreneur, and mentor to many. Victor is someone who has surpassed and gone through an extensive amount of challenges to get to where he is now, and this is his journey. So, you tell me if that sums it up so far.
Yeah, of course. And living on Puerto Rico, for some reason, living in Puerto Rico, we have literally we have many issues here in Puerto
Yeah,
Rico, since we are part of the United States, but at the same time we are not part of the United States. So it's a
Right.
little bit complicated. And when you're child, you have to go through all of this, and people think that this is a normal way of living here, but it's not. And we normalize the act of living life as a citizen, but at the same time we are not part of the United States, so it's a little bit difficult.
Right.
But this is a lovely island. And
Yes.
since uh, I will hate, and this is for other people maybe, I will hate if I live in a city like New York. Simply, I love New York, but if I trade or work on New York, and also my all my life is on New York, I feel that my life is going through a rough path, because everything is a very fast life and stuff like
Yes.
that. And
Yes.
we're when I having a bad trade day, like I'm losing a lot of money, my literally my office is like 2 steps away from to the beach. And I will always get a swimsuit in my office. If something happens, I go to start swimming in the beach. So
That's
so
wonderful.
like this that part is cool, to living on an island that is the whole year is summer, so you can go every single day, and
Oh,
it's a
that's
little
beautiful.
bit different. And that part, it helps me a lot to being a successful trader, because being a trader is a very stressful career. And sometimes it can be sometimes depressing, because
Yeah.
it's a rough path,
Hmm.
um, and I got started in trading because of my dad. My dad used to do investments in the long term run and all
Hmm.
that kind of stuff. So he learned or teach me how to invest in the stock market, and then I got involved in all these trading strategies. I used to trade on Scott Trade, that it was the company that TD Ameritrade bought then, and now TD Ameritrade is getting acquired by Charles Schwab. So so I started a very long time ago with my dad account, and start trading and all that kind of stuff. And a lot of people start like asking me, Victor, why are you traveling a lot? What are you doing with your life? So people keep asking me to teach them what I've been doing with my life. So I start teaching a couple of peoples in the mall here next by a very brand new mall that started like 4 or 5 years ago, that is called the Mall San Juan. And so I started teaching them between 6 and 8 p.m. because I was working by that time.
Hmm.
So my free time, it was between 6 and 8 p.m. So I started like giving my friends stock market classes. And then I got starting like having a lot of people coming to me to start learning and getting into the stock market. And in that part, I started like researching a lot of information of the education of my country, because I know the education here, it's not the best. It's good, but it's not the best from uh the whole world,
Right.
And I know that we currently having big problems in the finance world, and also how we administrate our money. And you see it in the government, and also you see on the people. So people have a lot of debt here. People doesn't care about investing. They don't care about people. We are like very we expense a lot of money in stupid stuff,
Yeah, I'd
and
say
stuff
anything that
that
has to do with hedonism, right?
exactly. So for example, and when you're going in through a rough path, that you have to be part of the United States, but at the same time you cannot be, or you cannot stand by your own, because your country is not self-sufficient to go with a lot of things, because we are
Hmm.
part of not part. So it's a little bit complicated. But people also make also more difficult to achieve a self-sustaining country or state, if we don't start investing and start getting knowledge. Because knowledge is at the at, you know at the time, knowledge is the most important thing. I always say that money is a consequence of getting knowledge first. So
Hmm.
that's how I live my life. Money, you cannot pursue money. You have to pursue knowledge, and money will come as a
To you.
as a consequence, because you do start studying, and you start getting knowledge, you know, investing, entrepreneurship, about everything, in life. And we have a very deficient side of people doesn't understand how finance work. People doesn't know how investing. So that's the way I got started, like in starting Infusion Investment, start teaching people how to invest in the stock market. And we have different kind of courses, because I know every single people doesn't want to be a trader, and you cannot force people to be a trader,
Of
but at
course.
least they know how the market works, so they can start. And no, not everyone wants to be a millionaire. Some people want to have more time with their families, or maybe have more money to have vacations, or spend money in something that they like, but they can't because they have all the compromise money into all the debts and stuff like that. So that's where I got started, like in teaching other people's.
Yeah, that's very humbling. I mean, the fact that you're actually trying to make a difference and help, and not exactly just put other people's education into the government's hands, if anything in your hands, that's very commendable.
Yeah,
And I can say the same thing within my country. I'm from Mexico, and you know, it's
you have to leave a
it's a
legacy,
problem.
by the way.
Yeah,
Of course. And sometimes I think uh humans are very and sometimes, it's not always, but sometimes we are very selfish, and we start, like, everyone has a secret. McDonald's has a secret of the Big
mm,
Mac, or a company has a secret, but sometimes people doesn't want to share that secret because they're gonna make more money than you, or maybe they're gonna steal from you. And that's a very selfish part. And I notice, when you teach other people without being very truthful, and being very transparent,
transparent.
people appreciate that. And you will start growing every single day more because of that.
Yes,
and
sir.
and, and that's what you want to do. You want to grow others people's life, but at the same time you're growing your life two times, because when you give more to other people, you're gonna get back more. So that's a way to help the community, as we will telling, and also help you as a trader, because we cannot live a lonely life for our
Yeah,
so, like my life as a trader is not being a fancy stuff. I have fancy stuff, but I don't like to show it. But my life is all around of having fun with friends, because at the end, it doesn't matter if you have all this material, all these cars that cost you $1 million, but when you're gonna have fun, only you by you, or you're gonna have fun with your friends, or
yeah. When you're not surrounded with the right people, there's no reason
exactly.
for money.
So when I will pursue happiness. I will pursue having fun with friends, having times to do a lot of things that other people can't do because they have a compromise of being in their job and all that kind of stuff. But at the end, like I told you, money should be a consequence of looking for other things. You cannot be after money. And when always sometimes enters to the Infusion Investment to take the stock market courses, I always tell them, you need to have a purpose in life, or you need to have a purpose of what you're going to do with that money, because making money is not a motivation, because at the end, if you lose money, you're going to lose your motivation. So money
Yeah.
should not be a motivation, because it's something that you can lose and you can win, and you have to have a more, you know I always say that I want to I want to have a foundation to help people other around the country, and always thinking about how I can leave a legacy to the next generations of kids. And that's the first thing that we have to approach:
Wow.
how we can teach kids to get involved in investing and all the kind of stuff. And then we can have a very society, because at the end, we have to think what we're going to leave to other people's behind. And I always think about this: people that leave a legacy in the world, like I was reading a book of leadership the other day, and that person died, and he left something in the world, and and he told in the book, I don't care if I die or still alive, but this book is still alive. So if my life continues, it
My
doesn't
life.
care if I'm alive, my life is gonna continue. I'm gonna impact the next
Generation.
generation of leaders, because I made a book to how to you know to become a better leader, to how to become and leader other peoples. And I think that's the my approach, and that's my secret sauce, or maybe on my success.
I mean, I'm at a loss for words. It's such a humble secret sauce there. But that's I think that's an amazing purpose. That's you want to help others and at the same time live the best life with the best people around you as possible and just have fun with your life. It's not about the money. It's about who you're
Of
sharing your
course.
life with. And of
and
course,
and,
just
and I
being
want
happy.
to and my ultimate goal is to make my and sometimes I want to make my courses accessible to anyone in other countries that they don't have access to this information, and they don't have to pay none for it. And that's what I want to do, because at the end, I my money comes from like the 80 or 70% comes from the stock market, or investment that I make as a short-term rentals or long-term rentals and stuff
Mhm.
like that. So at the end, uh, you need to leave something in the world, and man, that will help you. That will clear your mind. That will be your perfect motivation to keep grinding and
Yeah.
making your life better.
Yeah, I remember seeing that in your blogs, just grinding, grinding, grinding. I see that.
Yeah, it was every single day. It was every single day. And I have a lot of jobs, and I work on Uber. I was all work as an engineer too. I work as a uh I was selling shoes to people. Like, I have done a lot of things with life, and time should not be an excuse to start making what you are called to do. And if you don't know what is your call, you need to find it. And the way you find it is finding your purpose and what's your legacy. Because at the end, if we live in the world, we have to leave something to other people. And our life should not be uh thinking always selfishly.
Materialistic. Yeah.
Exactly. And at the end, I tell you, I know a lot of millionaires people that they don't, like, they have a lot of $1 million, but they don't have a friends, they don't have families, they don't have nothing to share with. And that is a little bit sad, because sometimes taking pictures of your car, saying that you're having fun, but you know, at the end, you will be standing alone, like I learned. You will be standing alone in front of your mirror and looking at yourself and thinking what I'm doing with my life, and what is my purpose that I'm gonna leave behind, and what's the next thing. And that's the almost the like I told you, I was living a very big depression in my life, and always stand in the middle of the nights. I was hanging with friends, I was having a lot of fun, but at the end, when I go to my house and I have to wake up and see in front of the mirror myself, and I was asking, like, what I'm doing with life, what I'm doing. I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel uh, full of life. I'm just a person that have friends having fun, but at the end, you don't feel well with yourself. I don't know if
Right.
you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I've felt that in the past before. And it's something that, I think a lot of traders, if not every single one of them, gets to experience once in their journey,
Of
It
course.
a lot of, like, for example, for young traders, including myself at the beginning, it was very difficult because, telling your parents, hey, I want to be a trader, I want to pursue a career as a trader, and having their reaction be, I mean, of course your father taught you, which is I'm assuming that he was inclined to the idea of you learning how to invest and learning how to grow capital through, the stock market. But
Yes.
from coming from parents that are mainly, the brick and mortar, you know what I mean, like they
Yeah.
have something right there that's tangible. And they were at first very skeptical, and it turned out to be something that now they believe in. I've been trading for about since I was 17. I'm 19 now.
Nice.
And
Very young, man. You're
I
getting started. You're very
mean,
young, man.
personally, I'm not where I want to be yet. And
Of course.
the idea of it is, I've seen a lot of people. In fact, I plan on interviewing a 19-year-old, also a 19-year-old. His name is Arshad. He cleared $200,000 in, I believe it's 1 month and a half, basically. So we're like,
Wow. For
that's
19
absolutely it.
years old? Yeah,
19 years old, yeah.
that's crazy.
It's absolutely amazing. And learning from those people who not only have achieved what you want to achieve one day, but also seeing their humility, seeing their point of view, and also seeing how they view the world and what they're doing and how it hasn't changed them at all. Like some people will get $100,000 and be like, I'm just gonna go spend it. But it's amazing to see how other people get, like, for example, $100,000, and they're like, okay, how can I keep this? How can I keep this going and not waste it and invest it into myself so I can keep growing? So that's the main idea. Of course, having your own personal goals. For example, for myself, it's taking care of my family, taking care of myself, making sure I'm okay. Because I know if I'm okay, my mother, my father, I mean, that's their main worry right now. And I feel like that's a lot of worries for a lot of parents nowadays. They're worried about their child, what they're going to do
Of
with
course.
the current world.
Hmm.
So that's definitely something I can understand coming from your side. And I'm pretty sure you're well past that at that point. I'm sure that your parents are absolutely proud of you. And that's
It's so my I always have very difficult relationship with my mother. I could definitely tell you my father is very proud, but at the end, mm, the, the main goal, the main goal is that you can be proud of yourself. And
yes,
like I tell everyone, everything comes from inside out. If you want to help people, you have to help you first, and then you can help other people.
exactly.
But if you're not in this in a way in your life that you can help yourself out, and you want to help people, you will start wrong. So you have to help you first, and then you can help others.
Actually,
And being proud.
sorry. Sorry about that. I
No,
didn't mean
no,
to cut you off. Actually, what I did is I don't know if you got to see my Instagram account, but my idea was to start an Instagram account basically journaling absolutely everything from all losses to all gains that I would have. And I started with an account with $12,000 and I brought it down to $2,000. Then from
yes,
$2,000, I grew it to $14,000. Then from $14,000, I basically moved up and down, and I was experiencing this move over and over again. And it was an emotional roller coaster where at some points I felt almost obligated to share everything when at
hmm,
one point you don't really feel like you want to share, just because
of
you're
course,
you're you're in your head, and you feel like, oh man, if it's not green, what are people, going to say or something like that. And it's not really about the people, but I feel like it was more of myself, like what am I going to say about myself when I see something like that. And that was a
yeah.
time where I was very fearful of taking any position whatsoever and letting my emotions control myself.
And sometimes the young traders that learn from other traders or from another perspective, they always want to to imitate. It will be the word for when you want to not become that person, but you start like following his path or something like that. And 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 sometimes I have a lot of traders that start publishing all their gains, losses, stuff like that. But at the end, I don't know. There's a lot of people that I don't know if they are judges or they are police of the stock market. I don't know if people pay them to start giving their opinions on trader stuff like that. But sometimes I think we care too much about other people's P&Ls and all that kind of
Hmm.
stuff. You should focus more on your account and because the
Yeah.
I saw the other day like, oh, to other person. It wasn't me, but if it was for one of our students, and someone told him like, "Oh, your account is fake" or something like that. And at the end, if your account is fake or not, bro, it's not your account. Go and trade your account.
Yeah. What do
The-
you care?
If you're Of course, if you care, or if, I don't know, because there's a lot of people that want to be the police of the stock market and want to know if someone is a fake trader or not. At the end, bro, trade your account, build yourself out, and stop looking for other people. Because sometimes people want to, oh, so he's doing it right, he's doing it wrong, and you lose a lot of time thinking how you should do things and being more transparent. Because I'm 100% transparent and I always sending videos to the community with the statements and all that kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
sometimes when you're on the trading side and your emotions are on the line, not every single day you want to publish that, as you were telling. And sometimes we as our tell, because I'm gonna start not posting more of my P&Ls and all that kind of stuff. Because for my community, I will do it. For Instagram and all that kind of stuff, I will not do it anymore. Because at the end, when you I don't sometimes I think that I have to prove people that I'm good at it. And you don't have to
Hmm.
prove anyone. You have
You
to
don't have to
improve
prove it to
yourself.
anyone.
And sometimes we push ourselves, or we that's a very like extra charge. Well, like we put another like
Yeah, just
extra weight,
on your
like an extra
shoulders.
weight on your shoulders. And you are not consistency in trading, or you are not being at the point you are, how you can help others if you are not in the
Yeah.
way that you want to be. So
That's
first
exactly.
become
That's
so
exactly it.
become first the person that you want to be, and then you will have time to prove, if you want to prove the world that you're good at it. But at the end, the only things that you have to prove is yourself, to yourself. Because at the end, those person that will be criticizing you, or will be applauding you, at the end you will be standing alone in front of the mirror at night, confronting you at yourself and thinking, and I'm in the right path, and I'm
Yeah.
not in the right path, and I'm not being transparent with myself. Because the first thing is being transparent with yourself. How are you gonna publish, and that's how you can see the person that you're dealing with. If you're confronting with people that they have fake accounts, or they have demos, or they are photo they have an expert of Photoshop. I don't care. Or they are doing the spec to, I don't know what they're calling it now. So all those things, at the end, if you're not being transparent with yourself, you're lying to yourself. And lying to yourself is the worst thing that human being can do. Because sometimes the mind, and that's the most important thing that you have to think is, your mind doesn't know if you're joking or if you're telling something that is real. Because everything is visualization. So if you visualize yourself as being a liar, or treating yourself like you are not in a place, or having all this issue, you will not grow as a person. You have to visualize, okay, I'm gonna do $3 million. How I'm gonna do it? So you prepare yourself, but you have to always visualize yourself. But at the end, your mind doesn't know. Your heart, yes, or other things, yes. But at the end, your mind doesn't know. You can foolish your mind, and and
You can
and,
fool
and
it.
we can see that. So your mind doesn't know if at some point, if you're telling the truth, or if you're lying, or you're having jokes. Like, I always, when I'm with friends, and always someone say, "Oh, you're stupid, you don't know what you're worth of," and I say, be careful with that. Because the mind doesn't know if you're joking or you're telling something real, and that person can take it person, you know, and they can start thinking, oh, so I'm dumb, I'm stupid, or something like that. So there's too much topics in the stock market that sometimes we put too much weight on our shoulders,
Yeah,
and the only thing that we should focus on is trading with our life, and doesn't bother, like, if it's not your life, it's not your trading account. So you don't have to be the police of his account. Be your police or your account. Be
be
in
the
charge
police
of
of your
your
account.
account,
Yeah,
and then you can focus on other things. But sometimes we always, like, oh, that guy does that thing, or that guy do the other thing. So stop being like that and start doing a better person, and start being a better trader, and then you will see all the things that it will come. Like I told you, you don't have to follow money. Money is not the main goal for me.
I think you're 100% right on that. I don't think there is one drop that was wrong, and it is something that a lot of traders are doing nowadays, and it is a problem, and you're totally right about that. Um, but as we go into the emotional side of trading, I also wanted to talk to you a little bit about, more of your technical aspect of trading. Of course,
Perfect.
the
Yes.
emotional aspect is, almost 80% of all trades, at least
Yes.
within, specifically scalping. Depends on what type of trader you are, but everybody experiences emotional mood swings.
Of course. Of course. Of course.
And I wanted to ask you, because of course, that a lot of people are like, "How did you make $2 million? That's amazing! Like, how much
Yeah.
did you put in? How much did you do that?" My question to you is, I'll get to the $2 million, but I did, as I was doing some research, I did get to notice that you took an account from $500 all the way to $91,000, nearly
Yeah.
$92,000.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that in terms of relativity to young traders, new traders, that would be the most helpful type of information they can receive, as most of them can only start with $400, $500. So seeing a number, first of all, his goal, just to keep this, I mean, I'll make sure to post all the link to those specific videos, but the
Perfect.
goal of um, this little challenge that he did for himself was 500 to $25,000.
Yeah.
He went all the way to 90 to $91,000, and he put the challenge in 100 days. It was cleared in about 20. Was it 27?
21.
21.
20. 21 days. Yeah. I
21
so it was
days.
21. Yeah.
Yes. And for anybody who wants to know, it correct me if I'm wrong again on this, but it was through options trading, credit spreads,
And
and
yeah, butterflies. So the main the so the strategy. I don't know if you can talk now about my strategy, or if you want to
oh no,
add something.
that's 100% your part. That's what you're here for.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
I'm
my
gonna.
strategy, my first strategy, it will be for all the people that are watching and listening. The strategy that I have to the trading part on the stock market is doing spreads. It will either way, it will be credit spreads or debit spreads. But we have two things on spreads, on vertical spreads that are the main one, you know, and the vertical spreads are the main strategy, and then you have the credit spreads, you have the debit spreads, you have the call debit, call credit, all that kind of stuff, right? but the amazing thing on the vertical spreads is that you can do two strategies. You can buy lottery tickets, or you can do uh premium selling via
Okay.
the vertical spread. So I always, when I teach every single person how to know how to master your strategies, is to know, if you're doing options, what options were made at the beginning of like, options were created, some, like, they were created with a purpose, you know, and you have to find first, like, every single thing. I always go back to purpose. If you don't know the purpose of the options, you don't know how to implement advanced strategies. So what is the purpose of options? It was to have, right, an insurance for your stocks, right? It was
Yep.
to have an insurance. So that's the main goal, is to have an insurance. So you have, I call this the Airbnb strategy, the strategy that I use for premium selling in the stock market, because it's a short term. So when you have a small account, you cannot buy the stock. Let's say for let's say that we're gonna buy 100 shares of Apple. Let's say it will cost us 10 grands,
Yep.
and we don't have an account with 10 grands.
Hmm.
So let's say that we bought Apple at 100 and now it's at $200. So you're winning about a thousand, hundred, no, it will be $10,000 more,
Hmm.
right? So now that you're winning 10,000 more, if you sell the call, you want that stock to be below a price, right? Let's
Yep.
say you sell the 200s, and if it stays above or below 200s, you will collect the premium that you saw, and you will be with the stock, right? So you will stay with the stock, but at the same time you will stay with the premium. So you will collect the premium and you will stay with the, because let's say I'm an investor, and I know that Apple will fall in the next couple of weeks. From $200 it will go down to 180. How an investor can hedge his strategy, how he can hedge his trade. Don't He can sell the calls, putting people to assigning the the obligation of selling the 200 calls for someone if that stocks ends in the money. But if that options ends out of the money, you will call it the premium, because you know the 90% of options, it will expire worthless.
Yes.
And that's the what people doesn't think about. If you know that 90% of the option chain will always be on zero on Friday, why you don't write and you are the buyer? And that's where I got started with the spreads. Because
Okay.
if you don't have the $10,000, you have to buy the stock to sell the calls. If you sell
Yeah.
the calls and you don't have the the stock, you are naked. So if the stock goes to the roof, then you have to find the $20,000 or maybe more to sell the stock on that price, and then sell them to the people to the price that you lock on the option, on the strike price. I don't know if you're following me
No,
what
yes,
I'm
yes,
saying.
yes. I perfectly understand. And this is for anybody who is kind of confused. Basically, the idea of selling call options. So let's say we have calls, right? We have your call side on this is your option spread, okay? You have
Yep.
your call and your put. And if you'd like to add anything, please let me know. If you're selling calls, the idea of it is to stay below. You want it to come downwards. If you are selling puts, you want it to go upwards. Think about it as a way of kind of reversing the idea of buying that same contract. Just it's almost as if a call were a put, but not. It's kind of
Okay.
the idea, but it's not. And also keeping in mind that I mean, when you buy a call contract, for example, you have the premium that you paid, that's your maximum loss.
Exactly.
I feel like this is something that not a lot of people know when it comes to selling calls or selling puts.
Being the writer, because people, it always are the buyers.
Mhm.
People doesn't know how to write.
Right. But the thing is, when you sell calls, just so you don't go and sell calls right now and start making like
Yeah,
think you can
please
make.
don't do that.
I mean, it's
To
a
make a
you
mistake.
need to know what you're doing very very well, because now you have
The obligation.
your maximum loss is infinite.
Exactly. Exactly.
So you need to keep that in mind. That means that you could actually lose more than you put in.
Exactly. Exactly.
So
How
Just.
you can maximum your loss is buying the stock. But if you don't have the money to buy the stock, so then you cannot create the strategy. But there is something that you call the spreads or vertical spreads,
Mhm.
that you sell the calls, and at the same time on the same expiration and other type of strike price, you buy at the same time. And that's how you create a vertical spread, right?
Mhm.
So, and I'm gonna teach you a trick or a secret, and it always end up for being for Tesla or stocks that have a lot of implied volatility. When I see a lot of people that they are buying, let's say, the 600 of Tesla this week, they were going nuts, and I know that Tesla is not going to 600. So, and the implied volatility is at 187. So you can find a $1 contract, you can find a $1 contract almost $200 out of the money, and you will be pretty sure that that contract will expire on zero. So that is the premium selling. But now, if you're doing lottery tickets, is that you know how to read the tape, you know how to read option flows, you know how to read when institutions are buying into a stock that you're not seeing the move right now, but you're gonna see the move in the next couple of days. Then let's say, for example, we have the Zoom one.
Yeah.
Zoom, we're having a lot of flows above $400, and on earnings that stock skyrocket to 140 on 240 something dollars. But then we have a stock like, let's say, Tesla, that we were trading the other day with the whole community. I knew that Tesla was gonna be for about 400, because this week the 400s, they were buying a lot of them as the stock was declining. The open interest, it was incrementing, so that's initial activity, and that's what I look for. So if the stock is at 320, you can create a lottery ticket that you sell the higher uh the higher stuff. For, let's say you want Tesla to be in uh at 400, instead of buying the calls for 400 that you have the time running every single time, you have the data consuming all your money.
Mhm.
You can sell, or you can do a spread that if Tesla stocks is above 400, let's say you risk $100 and you can make $25,000, or you can make $40,000 risking $1,000 or $2,000. Let's say that probability is low until you know how to read the tape, and you know how to read the option flow. Reading the tape of stocks and reading the tape of options are completely different kind of things, you know. And finding initial activity is different, but you're willing to take that risk because you're not risking a lot, but your high reward ratio is so high that if you invest $1,000, you're gonna get $80,000, $70,000. Your risk profile will be crazy. It will go to the moon. And and the stock has until 4 p.m. the expiration to go above that price, and you will collect all the money. So you don't have the time running, uh, always sticking in your neck, like, oh my God, the stock has to move now. If it doesn't move now, I'm gonna lose a lot of money because I have the data kicking my head. And also, other strategies that you use is buying leap options and selling weekly premiums to be hedged. So it's say that I'm long on Tesla and I know that Tesla will go down. I'm gonna start selling weekly premiums on behalf of the leaps options to, right, to collect all that premium. And it doesn't matter that contract, because that contract is to hedge out, and so I can be covered and not naked, because if the stock goes up, then I can cover with those leap options, you know. And the thing that you do is you buy the lead, so you have the long strategy, but you sell weekly premiums, and the the tip here is to collect the whole premium that costs you the lead option. And then it doesn't care if the leap option move or not, you already collected the whole weeks, you know.
Yeah,
So there
yeah,
is a lot of strategies that I implement on the market that are completely different. I can sleep better because I don't doing breakouts. It doesn't not always works, you know.
yeah,
And some people are good, but no, we like I told you, always comes to this part. If you don't help yourself out, how you can help others? You have to find the right strategy to you. I have a student that he's putting out $2 million in the stock market, and he's a student of mine, and he always making more than 6 figures every single day, every single day, every single day. But he knows how to do the breakout stuff, and he's patient. I'm not. I'm not patient on breakouts. I'm not good. Sometimes I'm good because the stock goes into my way as soon as I want to, but sometimes I don't like it. I don't,
yeah.
I don't like I don't like it. And people doing triangles, doing all that kind of stuff, it works. But for me, it doesn't work. And I cannot follow that strategy because it hasn't worked to me. And the
And
only way that I make money in the stock market is doing those things.
I feel like there's a lot of people, especially in the group. You guys already know. A lot of us, yeah, I mean, including myself, I have this new strategy where I used to do breakouts actually. And that's where my account was just going up and down.
Yeah,
For a
exactly.
little while, I was able to go from 2K to 14K, all good. Then Tesla destroyed my account. The day it came up, it destroyed my account in 3 days. I was left with nothing. I had to put money back into my account. And even now, I followed some people who said, the typical guys that will say, "Oh, follower signals, this and that," and I emotionally I wasn't okay, and it caused me to follow other people's analysis instead of my own because I wasn't trusting myself. That caused me to be in 1K, and this is actually some of you guys don't know this, but my account wasn't 1K 2 weeks ago. Right now, little by little, I brought it up to 3K within those 2 weeks. So that's actually today was 3.3K. That's where my account is at right now. And the hardest thing to see is when you try so much consistently with one strategy without trying out other strategies that you feel can work for you. And that's
Exactly.
exactly what I imagine you felt. One strategy just wasn't working for you. And I know for a fact that for a lot of you guys, that breakout strategy isn't working. Like one of the strategies that I'm trying right now is dip buying, buying near to the support and cutting it. Like if it closes below my support, I'm done, period. And
Perfect.
as I buy near to the support, it goes the other way. I can collect my profits right even after it breaks out. Like that's what I did with
Perfect.
Tesla in the morning. I bought in at 9:34 your time, 9:34
Perfect.
your time on Tesla, and I sold at it was here. I can even tell you right now. It was like 9:50 with an amazing move. Yeah, I can actually share with you 2 seconds. I was going over with the group this trade. My idea was okay, we created this support. I'm looking at the 1 minute
Okay.
chart. We created the support and we created this resistance. This line was here at the beginning, but I just created this small area here. So we created the support and we created this resistance. I knew that okay, what I like to do is look at slash ES. This is my account, and by the way, here you
Yeah.
guys can actually see where my account is at 3,300. This is what I was looking at the beginning of the market today. Here we go. So I was noticing that we were coming down, let alone that okay, we made a low, we made a high. My idea on this was, okay, I'm going to buy as near as I can to the support, which is this area right here. I bought in right here. Why did I buy in right here? Because my idea with Tesla, or at least a lot of times with Tesla, it's gonna touch this EMA, which for me, this EMA is the 13, and I have the EMA of 50 as well. It usually goes below it and then spikes up, which is what it did before making a move towards the downside. So if I were to wait for this break, this is what I was explaining. if I were to wait for this break and instead of it continuing to move up, it begins to move down, I would probably be holding until this point and be like, oh my God, I am so down. But if let's say this trade were to go against me, I bought in down here, my sell point is right below the support. So from here to here, I remember while I was watching this, I was down like $90. Keep in mind, I'm trading small cap, like not,
No, that's
you know.
okay.
So I was down like $90 on this trade, and as soon as I saw this, I was able to add a little bit to it. So I was in with $1,500 out of basically 50% of the account as it opened, and I wrote it up all the way until you can see this, right? 13. I sold at 13 at 6:57, which is 9:57 your time, or EST as well. And the second one that I bought, I sold at 9:30. I bought the
Nice.
first one at 6:35 and the other one at 9:40. And then I did this small one, which I'm actually looking to hold. I'm just looking to make a small swing trade on Tesla on the upside. So let's see where that actually goes. But that's one thing that I notice a lot of people, including in my or in the group that I started, is that all of the strategies you mentioned, at least as of right now, nobody has come up with one of those strategies. Nobody has told me that I use the strategies. Because we are so accustomed to at least, what is almost easy because it's very difficult to understand the risk and also to understand how to actually choose the correct option spread when you're trading debit, when you're trading credit, when you're trading, when you're selling and buying calls. So I will do my best for you guys to learn about this more and
Of
explain
course.
it. And of course, you guys
If I can,
have.
if I can show you, I don't know if you have already that you have your TD American account logged in. I can show you how the risk profile, how we can do the stuff that I can do in a maybe it could take us a second.
Okay. If you want to use do you want to use mine or? Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Approve. There we go.
So let's say that you're telling me, okay, so Tesla will go above $500, and we did. Let's assume this is a very nice speculation, because it maybe it will not go into that part. But okay, I don't know if we can. Okay, I
Are
have
you
the
moving it?
pen. Yeah, I'm moving it. I have a pen in my hand right now, but use Emiliano. Okay, let's do something.
I'm not.
No,
I don't know if you're
let's
moving
go to
anything.
analyze if you want to. Let's go to analyze. I'm gonna do annotation so you can.
Okay.
And let's say go to simulated trades. So that's your risk profile for the single, right?
Right.
So you can see the risk profile. So if we go to simulated trades, let's go to that part second. And let's go for 18 September. Those one that you have open.
18th of
Let's open.
September.
Yeah, this one, the first one.
Oh yeah, I was.
And let's say bring up that to the all. And let's go here first so we don't have to create our our one or the custom one. We can create one that they have already here. Let's go to vertical spread. Let's
Okay.
go to five. Let's go to 500. Let's
Okay.
go
Okay.
to that. And let's go to
Let's
this one. This one. Yeah, will cost you. Let's press it was a call debit. Yeah, so you have to press the buy button. Can use the put, but I don't know how much open interest we have there, but let's go to risk profile. Try
uh,
to check your positions here because it will create a very crazy thing.
so this right here.
The all that you have open on, but the green one that you have
Uh huh.
doesn't uncheck. Uncheck the other ones, the
Okay.
ones that are in black.
Okay. Uncheck these ones,
And
and
let's
we
go
just
to
leave.
risk profile. Yeah,
Okay.
let's go
Risk
to risk
profile.
profile.
Okay.
So let's say, for example, right now, if you're risking $500 or $300 we are seeing here, because that's the here that you see is 340.
Yep.
And let's go to about 500.
Above 500?
Yeah, put your mouse
We are at 500 right now. Do you want me to go? Okay, I
a
see.
little bit. Yeah.
I see where you're going.
So, so look at the.
So
So you're
4,000.
you're risking $300 and you're gonna make $4,000. So if
Jesus.
you know how to do, if you knew, and that's what I do. If you know how to do the option initial activity, you know how the theta works. That the violet line, that is the theta. That's why
Hmm.
you have. If you can change the date here if you want to, but and you can see how the theta line is gonna keep moving down here, and it's gonna go move up in here. Try it, move it upwards with
Oh,
the plus sign that you have.
on the plus sign. Okay.
Look right.
It
So
starts inclining a lot more.
yeah. So my strategy is, so like I told you, it's very similar as my friend that I had, and he live here in Puerto Rico, and that's what we do. We always communicating each other with the strategy that we use, but that's how we do. We can do hedge at the same time, and we can bring that to that 500. We can bring that to 5 and 50, and we can risk $300 and maybe win $10,000.
Hmm.
But those things you have to find between all the information that the option chain it will give you. It's a very good strategy, something maybe you can, and this is a debit, so that's what we have the buy calls, so that will be a debit. So let's say debit, you're pulling the money first. A credit, you have to put a collateral on the into that. But that's the strategy that I use, and also the butterflies. That's so crazy. And if we do a butterfly here, let's say Tesla being above 500 and it's now at 440, we can risk $40 and maybe win $73,000.
What? Wait, what? Risk $40 and make $73,000.
Yeah,
Oh man, that sounds insane. Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
and yeah. So you have to learn a lot because, like I told you, white people it will tell you that Tesla will be above 500. But if you know how to read the tape, you know how to find unusual activities. You can find unusual activities on here. If you go to trade and then you go to option times and sales on Thinkorswim. By the way, Thinkorswim, we're creating a partnership with them, and they have amazing platform because in Lightspeed you have to pay for all this kind of crap. Every
Hmm.
time it will cost you. Let's go to all products, and
All
this
products.
will be, yeah. And if you go down or close this part, please, so we can goes down, and let's go to option times and sales. And you have a filter here, and you can start searching for big orders, and you have to study what is a dark pool. You have to know which market
Yes.
is
Yes.
pulling it, what market makers. If you see Citadel, market maker, or you can see maybe Credit Suisse, or you can see those guys pulling in, and you see the constant order they are making, and it's as the stocks go down, they're buying every single more. You will know that they are them. And I have another platform to track this. I use Thinkorswim to watch this fast, but I have another platform that is for me, that we build it. And yeah, so we're finding a lot of developers because we're building a platform to find all this kind of stuff. But at the end, like I told you, the only thing that you can make more leverage on your money is doing this kind of strategy and risking a very low quantity of your money. I put $500,000 on risk on the $2 million reward, but I could tell you, it was my reward was like $3.9 million, but I closed it out on $2 million.
Yeah, I can't. That's something that a lot of the people who like I was explaining for the last week. I've just been hyping this up, and a lot of people ask me like, What do you think he felt? What do you think somebody feels when they're, first of all, I imagine you went to 1 million. And personally, if I see 1 million, I'm like, ha, what? I'm not,
So
I'm looking to sell at this point. But you even decided to keep holding. And may I remind you guys, this was, correct me if I'm wrong once more, Amazon, right?
Amazon, the QQQ, I was selling the 279, and the QQQ crashed because it was at 300, and I was selling the 279. But I knew, because when the QQQ was making all-time high, I was seeing Citadel, and I was seeing Goldman buying a lot of 279 and 280s from 18th of September. They were loading, and you can see in the chart the open interest. The open interest went from 200, and it went to 71,000 contracts from the day to the morning. And I saw that, and I was, the hell is going
Something's
on
happening.
here? So when you have open interest that kind of low, 200, and you have a volume that is more than 100,000, that's something unusual, because you cannot trade for the sake of God. You cannot trade that amount if you have a very low open interest. And by the way, the people that doesn't know, the open interest is the amount of contract that they are open. So it's the amount that you can exchange. If you have zero open interest, it said that that contract is illiquid, so you don't have exit point. If you buy it, you're gonna stick with that. You don't have a seller, so you're gonna stick with that. And the open interest is the most important thing that I always see in this kind of stuff.
Okay, so here's something very interesting. From my perspective, you actually just changed my perspective from what I learned at first. I was taught that the most important thing would be volume, open
No.
interest, because
So
what the way I learned is that volume is key. You need to know what, because if there's no volume, nothing moves. Therefore, what you want to look for is for volume. So you just changed my entire perspective right now, and I want to thank you for that. But could you please
you're welcome.
elaborate for that? Because even
Yeah.
myself, I
So
need.
no, of course. Okay. So the market makers create the spreads, and they have the bid and the ask, and they are in the middle. So, and if you have big spreads, right? If you have a bigger spread, we have a kind of problem, because they are risking more. And at the end, the volume is for stocks. But when you go
Right.
to the options world, it's different. You don't care about volume. You care about the open interest, because that's at the amount of, because if open interest, the only way that you create open interest is writing. You don't, if you buy, you cannot create open interest. So now you can know which people are writing and staying with the stock or the options, holding it overnight, and which are day trading it. I don't know if you're understanding what I'm saying right now. And
I
probably I'm gonna blow your mind if I'm start talking to you with a lot of things, because I know a lot of people doesn't know this, and they're used to trade and taught not in the wrong way, but at the end, I I train myself with people at JP and people at Goldman. So I took my courses down there. So I didn't take courses from other people. So like I told you, my father teach me. My father has the hedge fund manager that my father doesn't have a lot of money, but he had a very big retirement account that he has. I don't come from a millionaire family, but my father has more than $1 million on retirement, and that's how he could. Because if you want to invest in a hedge fund or something like that, you have to be a accredited investor. So my dad had this connection on Puerto Rico that he allowed me to take courses from JP and GS at that time, and that's how I learned, because I was friend of one of the hedge fund guys from Puerto Rico, and it was cool because I learned a lot of things that Not every single person understand, and that's how market makers leverage on you, because you don't know at the
Yeah.
end,
Yeah.
and,
Wow.
and you don't know at the end.
Yeah, that's I mean, I think I was just talking to somebody who was asking me about the open interest. I'm like, yeah, don't even worry about open interest. It's you want to
No,
focus
don't
on
say
volume.
that.
I'm
Oh
I'm
my
I'm
God.
I promise you right now, I will go to that person right now, or at least at the end of this, and say, focus on open interest, because I was,
Exactly.
yeah, no, that was 100% my fault. So I want to defer your attention to something real quick then, and this goes for the person that I was talking to about this. I just so happened to be checking out Amazon, so
Yep.
I'm gonna turn this back into. Oh, it's
You
already
have
at
it on
singles.
single. It was on analyze. That's why
Okay.
you don't see it.
So what do you think of the volume here? And then when you have open interest, something like this, and we're talking about singles here. This is not,
Yep.
his regular strategy, but um, we have 6,000 open interest. What would you say about the rest of these that are three figures, and then you have something that goes four figures then, or five
So,
figures?
because they're more cheaper,
Okay.
and that's why people. So people that, and this is me. It will depend how much size you put in, and that's why I go and I copy paste that, and I put it on the option and times and sales to know what people bought that contract. So I go to that contract specifically and I start looking what people bought into that, right? And
Okay. So
so
there's
let's
no
say you want to 3,005. Let's go to close the September 18th, and let's go to annotations. Okay, let's go to times and sales. Open it here. No, no, here.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, don't worry. Go to filter. Let's go to filter.
Okay.
Let's put site calls.
Sorry. Side
Check
calls.
this
Okay.
and put calls here. You have both. Put calls. Go to here to series. Put September 18 on here. Check. You have to check first and then, sorry, my bad. And go to strike and put the 3,150.
3,000, right?
Yeah,
Three
3,000.
thousand one hundred
Yeah,
fifty. Boom.
exactly.
Okay.
And put the dot in here too, because you now it's gonna put 3,052.
3,150 as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now we narrow it. Okay, so go until the open today. So you have to scroll down and look. You
Okay.
see 163. Yeah, but that 163 it wasn't on the ask, so you don't care about that. And also was on Amex, and it wasn't dark pool, so you don't have to care about that. You have the IV is done, not that, and also the 26. So this maybe was a person and there was a block, but it wasn't big enough. And you have to see more discontinually. So go down. We are not seeing anything. Nothing, nothing. Keep scrolling. 110.
89.
89, but that is
30.
not a big you have to see, and there
10.
you have to see 10. Yeah, we are not seeing a big chunk of orders,
Right. So
hitting
we're
on
not
the
we're
ask.
we're not seeing any unusual activity.
Exactly, exactly. So that's what I do mainly. And if I see big sizes, and also you have to record the open interest from today and see it tomorrow to know if they're added to the open interest. If they don't add it to the open interest, you have to know how much of that volume passes to the open interest. Open interest is the same thing as volume on stocks, but it's the liquidity. If you don't have open interest, you don't have liquid thing. So you're gonna buy it and then you're gonna leave like that, because probably you're gonna have a headache, because you don't you will which people you're gonna sell it. If you want to have it tomorrow, let's say you want to buy something today and you want to sell it tomorrow, but you don't have open interest, then you're gonna get stuck with an option that you are not going to do anything. So you're gonna lose the whole premium because no one wants to sell you that or buy to you that.
Right, right. And I want to make sure that you're good. I mean, if you have to go somewhere, I don't want
I have, yeah, I think I'm but we can take 10 minutes more, but or
to.
five
Okay.
minutes more. Yeah.
Okay. I think that one of the main things that people want to know, and I'm gonna actually skip the 2 million part because I know for a fact that
If you
that's
want to talk
absolutely.
about it, we can talk. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
want.
the reason why I feel like skipping the $2 million part is because even though it's absolutely amazing, I feel like very little amount of people can relate to that because not everybody can create $2 million out of something like that, let alone put $500,000 in anything at all. What I wanted to ask you is two things. Number one, if you were to go back to your beginning, what exactly would you tell yourself to focus on from the start? That's number one. And number two, could you walk us through your morning from start to finish on what you look for in order to choose if you're deciding to hold for, whatever amount of time, whether it's the same day, same hour, same minute, or something like that. Just I saw that in some I don't remember if it was in one of your podcasts or your videos that I heard that you go through a filter that market cap has to be 1 billion and you
Yeah.
said something about beta.
Yeah. The beta. Yeah. Because I have 5 steps, right? And that's the basic part to go ahead in the markets. The first thing that you have to watch is the year to date return on the markets. How much the market is giving to me, 10%, 20%. Then I will go to the sectors that are giving more than the market, because you don't want to invest in something that it doesn't is not giving you more money than the market, right? And then you go to start filtering out all those companies, which company you're gonna choose first. And you go to the beta, right? So if you, let's say beta is what financial planners do to manage a portfolio. If
Right.
you have beta below 1, you're under market. Market is 1. So this, if you have a beta of 1 in the stock, that stock, it will move the same time as the stock. If you have a stock that have more beta than the actual S&P, then the stock will move above the S&P, will give you more return than the S&P 500,
Hmm.
right? So, and you want to, if the market is moving up, you want to stick with the higher beta stocks. If the market is moving down, you want to go to the other side.
Do you mind me
Like say,
asking
let's
where
say,
I'm able to find the beta?
let's go to trading view. Let's go to trade. Let's go first to Finviz, and let's go to Finviz first, if
Okay,
you
do
want
you
to.
mind do you mind spelling that for me?
Finvic as a zebra.
Oh, Z, Finviz. Okay.
See, see, yeah,
Let me go ahead and share
Finviz.
my screen for you guys. This is screen number one. All right, you can see this, right?
Yeah, Finviz.
This
Yeah,
is Finviz stock screener.
yeah.
Okay,
And then you go to screeners here.
screener.
Yeah. Let's say let's put let's pull here all, because I we have only P. Let's go to beta.
Beta. Uh,
Yeah,
would you
above
like
1, over
above
1
1 to
here.
1.5? Oh, over one. I sorry about that.
No, no worry. And also the average volume over $1 million.
Average volume over 1 million.
Exactly. So let's go to, let's choose, we have to, we can put a lot of more things, but let's go to sectors, and let's go to technology so we can narrow it down. We're
Right,
going
that's a
to
very
go
strong
to
sector
trading.
currently.
So let's go to Autodesk. And
This?
let's see, yeah,
Click it? Okay.
and let's see the beta is 1.51. So let's go, and I think that's year to date. I don't know if 1 year, but now if you go to trading view, if you go to trading view, you can put two trading view, yeah, and that's it. Then you put Autodesk. Let's go to that part.
You
ASDK
said.
here in search
Oh, sorry.
is S, yeah, that one. Go to full feature charts, and then you can compare it with the S&P 500. So you see, the market is giving you 16%, the stock is giving you 33%. So every single time that the market moves a point, that stock, it will move more than 2 points.
Right.
Okay. So now you're focusing, and if the market's, if you're telling me that the market is going to keep going up, then you can track this stock. So you know you have a very big move to the upside. And that's why you're always looking into the markets. And then we go to a filter of things, like seeing the volume, open interest, looking for unusual activities. We have a program alert that it will give send us alert that we're, it's a very raucous, it's very raucous. We want to sell it in the future, but for it's to have a hedge right now, because the hedge that we have, or the edge at, it's to look at the volume, or where the institutions are putting in. I sometimes I see a lot of traders buying a lot of stocks that I know that they're gonna crash, and I know it because I know how the markets are moving, you know. And when you have this kind of edge, you can see the market in a very different way,
Yeah.
and you can focus yourself and creating bigger or higher probability trades.
Well, I can tell you this much just from this. I believe it's well a little bit over an hour, but I think you've changed my entire perspective of trading as of right now in just 1 hour. And I'm sure that all of you um, are as surprised, if not more surprised than I am as of right now. I feel like I've been doing it wrong this entire time.
No, no
um,
worries.
but again, I really can't thank you enough for this. And just the final question, whether it be technical or whether it be inspirational, what would you do if you were able to go back and from the beginning tell yourself whatever it is? What would that be?
So if I go back and tell myself, the first thing that I would tell myself is to be calm, and that your time will come. The only task that you have is to find the strategy that allows you to keep you happy with yourself, and also keep creating new things in the stock market, in your life, or in other things that you propose yourself to do.
Well, I think I think that concludes it, and I think this was one of the, if not the best interview I've ever conducted. And I'd
Thank you,
say
man.
it's all because of you. I can't thank you enough. And I know for a fact that if you guys want me to connect you to his social media, again, same thing. It's already posted in here. But if you guys have any questions, please do feel free to contact me. I'll give you the links to everything. And again, thank you so much. I really, really, really appreciate it.
So thanks to you for inviting me. And like I tell you, start focusing, or and then and this is for the whole community, start focusing more on your account. And when you choose a new strategy, try to do it for 6 7 months, so you can know if it's working or not, because you're not going to catch it in the first time. So if it's not giving you results instantly, you don't have to care about that. You have to be consistent, and maybe put a time length, maybe 4 months, 5 months, that I will be using this strategy, and I will know if it fits into my daily lifestyle. And also, don't like my best. Uh, it will be like when you give someone an advice. So like the best advice that I can give to people is uh, there's a lot of traders, man, and that there's a lot of people that make a lot of money in the stock market, and they don't show it in the medias and the social medias and a lot of stuff, and
Oh
and
yeah,
and 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 sometimes we don't follow the right path. When someone is showing you something, and maybe you think that that is the right one or something like that, try to give yourself a couple of minutes, couple hours or days to think about that, because that person, if you don't know nothing about the stock market, he will change your life or perspective of the markets.
I think just the way
And
you've done for all of us at this point.
and like I told you, I have made more than 2 million in the markets. I have lost it and I win again, and I'm making a lot of money in the markets. I'm not a materialistic person. I'm not, and I will not never be. And I have good stuff, but it's not how I do my life. I want to be happy, have fun, and all that kind of stuff. Cars and all that kind of stuff, if they're gonna sell you that, those person, like I told you, you have to fit the right person. And if that person it is not full inside, it's not the perfect person to give you stock market courses and stuff like that. It doesn't care if it makes money or not, because you can learn from something that from someone that doesn't make money in the stock market. Not every single thing is a competition. Professors, they study on Harvard and stuff like that. Why they giving you classes? Why they're not? It's in the same thing in the stock
Yeah,
market. So the professor that you have on the university say, "Oh, so I study on Harvard, so I went to jail, I went to this place," but he giving you classes. You are not asking him for results. Does someone that doesn't have results in the stock market can teach you, but make sure that that person is transparent and in full inside out, so he can bring yourself fully. Like I told you, I'm not selling you nothing, and I give you my best. And that's how you can give people back, because not every single thing is buying a product. So that will be all, man. Thank
I
you.
think that was, once more, it was an absolute honor to interview you, and I have nothing but I wish you the best. I know for a fact that with
Thank you.
your current mentality, you're 24. That's so amazing, and you're an example to follow. You're an idol, and I I'm 100% sure that you'll reach your goals, even though you still. I'm sure that you still have many goals up above you.
Of course.
Anyways, guys, I'm gonna end the recording here, and I hope you guys take some notes because I know I'm looking back at this. But I'm gonna end the recording here. Have a good one, you guys.